All right. So this.
Yeah, one more thing. I saw a couple of your companies' videos are on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are for. See, few people asked me to put that on YouTube, so I did.
Okay.
Some of the training sessions are there on YouTube. So
Correct.
that's on a trial basis. I am seeing if it is beneficial to have that on YouTube. If it looks like it is good, then I leave it. Otherwise I'll pull it off.
Okay, okay. No, I think it is beneficial. I mean because one or more. I mean, I just saw the one YouTube video, and then it was like I downloaded it, and then I was watching in the train.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
right.
So
If it is good, it is good.
yeah, yeah, it is definitely good. I mean, for me, it is good because whatever knowledge you have is and
Okay. All right. So let's quickly go ahead and look into role delegation stuff and see what it is. Go here and I'll share my screen. Can you see
so
my?
you share your camera.
I think yeah, I clicked it wrong place. Okay. Can you see my web browser now?
Yeah.
Okay. So we did user administration yesterday.
Hmm.
Now, if you go into users, open up a user record from here, like this one. Scroll down a bit. There is one tab available which is for delegates, right? And
Hmm.
delegates, as you would, as you would understand, this is these are the people. Delegates are the people who work for you when you are not available. It's kind of that you are assigning your roles to
Hmm.
certain people
Correct.
when you are not available.
Alternate actor, basically.
Right, alternate actor. So that's delegate. So there is a feature available in ServiceNow that allows you to make delegates of yourself when you are away and assign those activities that you perform on your own to that person who is acting as your delegate. Right now,
Okay. So there is a time limit for that. I mean, you can specify the
yes,
time or a
yes,
date from
yes,
date to date. Okay.
yes, yes. So there are different activities that you can choose. What you want to choose, approvals you want to choose, assignments you want to choose, notifications, CC notifications, or you want to choose meeting invitations, right? And then you put the start date and end date to it, and then you put the delegation information as well into it. So this can be done either from the user administration, which is unlike the scenario because administrators will not go ahead and create um, delegates for you. It's you have to create delegate for yourself, right? So in order to create the delegate for yourself, you can go into self-service, go into my profile, and then you will see this interface. This delegate related list might not come up by default. So to bring that here on the form, you have to configure related lists and then bring this delegate from the available slush bucket from this slush bucket into the selected area, right? Because yeah, so by default this might not be available related list on the form. So don't get confused if you do not see this on the profile page. Configure the related list, bring this delegate on here, and now you can add delegate from the delegation form.
Okay. One question here. So let's say you are delegating the approvals. So let's say approvals is a approval email you are getting it. Okay, or you are delegating it. Okay.
Right, right.
So when you delegate that approval emails, I also want, that should be copied to me, I
That
mean,
will be that
whatever I'm telling.
that will be copied
Mhm.
to you. By default, that will be copied to you.
Okay.
The email. See, these emails are part of notifications. So if you see the notification application within ServiceNow, so that system notification here, and within here you have this email notification. So basically, you have to build notification emails for for the tables that you are working on. So let's assume that I am working on this asset table and I want to send an email out to users XYZ, and that email should go out whenever a record is inserted into this table. Meaning if you have an asset form, asset UI, and you are inserting data using that asset UI form, then you want to send an email out to the users, right? So this notification will allow you to do that, where you decide when to send that email out, what are the conditions that will qualify for getting that email out, who will be the beneficiary of that email, who will receive that email, what it will contain is the email template. So in the email template, you choose the action on which you want to send email, and then you associate the table using which you want to say send the email and the conditions that will trigger that email. Right? So we'll come back to it. We'll come to notification. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
don't want to do it right now.
No, no, that's fine. I just wanted to understand that approval, that it is copied or not.
Yeah. So this is delegations. Now one thing that we should remember. So you might ask a question whether if you are delegated your responsibilities to me, can I also delegate my responsibilities to somebody else and the delegation can cascade from you to me and me to somebody else? No, that's not the case. Multiple level delegation is not allowed in ServiceNow, right? So it's not like you delegate to me and I delegate to somebody else, right?
Mhm.
So this is something that we need to remember. Now,
Okay.
role delegation. Administrators can grant users the right to be role delegators. These
So
delegators can
it means I have to keep in mind that if I'm delegating to you my duties or
Mhm.
my my work, then you should not have already delegated your work to somebody else.
Yes, kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Right? Um, Administrators can grant users the right to be role delegators. These delegators can assign roles to users who are in a particular group. The roles that
I cannot
delegators,
see your PPT.
you can't
Okay,
see
now
it?
I can see.
Right. The roles that delegators can assign to other users include the roles that delegator inherits from a group, those roles that administrator specifies. Now, can you be a role delegator? That depends if you have this role delegator role, right? User assigned the role delegator role can act as delegators, right? So if you are assigned a role delegator role, you can act as a delegator, right? An administrator decides who can be a delegator, who cannot be a delegator, right? If you have this role, then you can be a delegator. If you do not have, you cannot be a delegator. Okay.
Yep.
Now, let's quickly see if I have to create a company record within ServiceNow. How can I do that? Right? Creating a company is also important in ServiceNow because those companies will be somehow utilized on different areas of different applications. For example, if you are into the user profile page and or let's take this example. Let's assume that you are a service-based company and you are serving 20 customers, right? Now, the data for those 20 customers should be stored somewhere. So you go ahead and create a company record into the company table, wherever you have that company table, and then you associate the transactions that you do for that company, especially with that company name or company ID, right? So that's why you must have your company set up within within your user administration and companies module, right? So if you come and see here, this is again similar to user administration that we did. The forms will look similar, identical to it. So you will see the list of companies already identified. Here in my instance, it shows that I have 177 companies. If I open it, to create a new, you have to hit new button. If I open it, I'll get all the fields that is available in there in the company UI here, which contains the name, phone number, fax number, the basic information about the company, right? Now, when you have created that company for yourself, you may identify different users within the company, different actors, or the point of contacts within those companies. So if you want to store information about those people, you can get that from here in the users as well, right? Now, this when you add this users information comes from the user table, and the user table is sys user table, right? So this is acting as a related list here. Company is a different table. Company table name, we can find out what is the name of the table here. Now, if you want to find out the name of the tables, one way is to go into system definition and tables and columns and start typing in the display name of the table. So like I started typing in company, and I can see that the company table is here, and the display name is company, but the table name is core underscore company, right? Now, if you know the table name and you want to see the structure of the table, one thing that you can do is core underscore, go into the application navigator, type in the table name and do .list. When you do that, it will open up the same table. You can see the data that is coming as we could see in the other table. So basically, this is a shortcut to go into the table if you have a table name, if you remember the table name of any of the tables, right? Any table dot do. For example, if I want to look into sys user table, so I'll do sys underscore user dot list. It will open up the table name for a table for me, right?
Okay.
Right. So to understand the table label, go into tables and columns and find out the display name. You will get the table names. You can also see the different columns available in there and description about the tables. We'll come back to this later, but just wanted to make my point that we can find out table names using tables and columns, right? Now, the majorly in companies, you will create company record, you will associate users, and then you will put location information about the company as well. Why location information? Because if you go into, see, if I go into this sample map page, if somebody asks you to create a report that will show you all the companies that you are related to on a map, right? If you want to show all the companies on a map to with whom you work, right? So you must have the location information as well, right? So the companies will have the location information as well, and that company can be, when you create company record, the location is somehow related, and you can then choose on the basis of the location information that you have put into the company details. See, here in this company, if I personalize the list, I can see the latitude and longitude values are there as well.
Okay.
So having the latitude and longitude value in place lets you plot your company location on the map easily, right? Because you can call Google Maps, then you can, draw data pins on the Google Map itself using the Google Map API. If you want to do automatically, then you can put the data pins using the lat long value, because this will act as a center point on the map and you can draw that data pin on the map, right? So you have this information here available, right? So that's company, and then these are the locations of the companies. If you can see here, if I open a location in this, we'll have to see the location relationship with the company as well. Maybe it's in the related table, related list. Okay, it's not here. So this is an individual entity. So individual entity, but it is having all the locations which you have identified within your database. And see, these locations are important because these locations could be your company locations, your vendor locations, or your user locations, or different locations from where incidents are coming in, or from where the change requests are coming in, right? So these locations will contain those kind of information. It also has a latitude and longitude value from here, right? And you can use this location form to store different kinds of locations, and then later you can associate relationship between locations and company tables, etc., right? Just wanted to make sure that you understand that we have something known as locations available here that you can use. This location within organization, this should have some relationship, direct relationship with the company somehow. Here as well, it is not having that company relationship.
So what you are saying is this user under user administration, the location and organization locations, two are different entities?
No, organization is a different one. So that is not into the user administration. See, let's see this one. This is in CMN location. Let's see what is this.
Oh, that's a company location and that's a user location
Now
maybe.
this is user location. This is what? This is the same table. This is the same table, but there must be some difference between these two.
Okay.
Right. Within organizations, we have users, cost centers, departments, locations, and location map. So users come from the user table, cost centers come from the different departments, and then department contains all the department information. Companies, we have the company table. Manufacturer, we have a manufacturer table. Okay, manufacturer is also containing the company information, company table. Vendors will also go into the core company table probably. Yeah, that is also coming from core company. And location, it's CMN location. Alright, so both user location and organization location will have data into the same table, but there will be some identifier to find out what it is related to. For example, it is related to organization or it is related to the user itself. So we'll have to see
Okay.
that identifier. We'll have to find out that identifier user. So there is one flag that might be different than the other one. Probably you can look into and find out what is that flag or which is differentiating those two fields. Can you do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
So see, the point is, uh, if we are into this organization tables, see this cost center, this is pulling out data from the cost center table. Department, we have the department table. Now let's come to companies. Now companies coming from core company, right? And then we have a view name associated to it, which is customer. So companies data will be having view name associated to customer. If I go to manufacturer,
What is view name?
I'll tell you what. If I go to manufacturer, we do not have that view name associated here, but the filter is manufacturer is true. Now if you go to vendors, it is having the view name as vendor. right? Now view name vendor is this is the flag that we are talking about. This gives you whether the companies that you have registered are vendors or they are manufacturers or are customers. This is the flag that you will be utilizing to differentiate your records, right?
View
This
name is a flag, you're saying?
this is the differentiator, not a flag. Flag meaning it's not a boolean value of true or false or 0 or 1, but different. This is the
Mhm.
differentiator. This will differentiate the data type of data that you have into the company table. It will identify whether the data that you are looking into is a vendor identified as a vendor or it is identified as a manufacturer, right?
Okay, so same like, so view name is a differentiation for user data also in the location.
Right. Now, why this is important? You might have Amazon as a supplier within your organization's database, and you might have Amazon as a user, consumer as well, a customer as well, right? Amazon might be
Right.
supplying some things to you, for example, hardware to you, but Amazon might be getting services from you in a different way, right? So that in that way, he is a customer to you, right? So in both the cases, you have to store the data so that the you get the data, relevant data at relevant time period. Make sense? Am I clear? So when you have to
Yep, yep.
deal with that company as a customer, you will deal with that company using the customer filter. You will find out all the information which is related to the customer. At the same time, it can also be a supplier to you. So during that time frame, you will be using that filter for supplier and get that information out. So this is the
Right,
fine
right.
difference. So I think that is what we have in the company administration. More you can explore about that. That is that is not too much complicated. You explore, you learn. Um, so if you remember on the user administration form, we had a field where we were having the departments, right? So those departments come from the department table we have here, right? You can create a department. You come here and you create a department. You put these informations and create a department that you can utilize while you create a user account into the table, right? Very
Okay,
simple. A department will have a department head and it will have a department primary contact information as well. Now, why this is important, department? Because certain times in approval flow, you will identify that this request might be requiring approval from the department head. Because if you are associating cost center to if you are associating cost to a cost center will be in turn associated to a department. Cost center, you understand, right? The group
yeah,
which is built against any request, right? So those cost centers will be associated to certain departments, and your approval flow might require approval from the department head, right? If it is a bigger transaction, then it might require approval from the department head. So when you create department, it's always good to put department head there, put their contacts, so that your workflow will identify whom to get the approval from. Okay.
okay,
Now this is the creation UI. If I go into the department data and see if there are related lists coming in, if I go into finance, see when I open it, it opens up the expense allocations. Now this expense allocation can be utilized to set budget for this department for a particular time frame or whatever you want to do. So this expense allocation, like see, I am the department head. Natasha Ingram is the department head in this case, and she allows you, let's say $10,000 for the year, right? Now, whosoever is approving request for the Department of Finance or working on the request, he has to take care he has to keep in the mind this point that the budget that is allocated to him is the $10,000 limit, right? So the approvals that goes should go within the 10,000 limit. If it is exceeding it, then it might call for different approval processes and might get might require to get attention from the department head, which is Natasha Ingram. So this is a hypothetical scenario I am talking about. There could be different other business flows as well where we have, expense allocations done and you are exceeding or, you are not consuming all the department allocations done as well. Some of the organizations do not take this as a positive thing where you do not utilize the expense allocated to you, right? If you are not utilizing the next year, your expense, your budget could be slashed by certain amount because you already have not utilized the amount which was allocated to you last year, right? Now there could be these different reasons, different cases where you have to utilize these expense allocations limit, right? Just wanted to show you that we have this expense allocations allotted here, and then to
Okay.
that department you can associate different users, right? For example, this department has 35 users. Take example of your application engineering. It could have 20 users into the application engineering. It could have testers, developers, or business analysts or project managers, doesn't matter. All fall into the department of finance, right? So that way you
Hmm.
can do that assignment to department and users. Okay. Again, keep exploring these areas. Keep looking into these tables and see how these tables are related to. If you really want to see the relationship, go into the tables and columns. There is a very good tool available that you can use to see the relationship. For example, if I go to department table here and I want to see what other tables this table is related to. So I select this table and I go to schema map. So when you go to schema map, it will actually show you all the relationship to different type of relationship available to different tables and within this department table.
Okay.
Let it open up. You see here?
Yeah.
So it brings you four types of relationship. You have show reference tables. So the tables that are referenced by department table, you will have those relationship coming in. Show referencing tables, the tables that ServiceNow is referencing. Show extended tables. Extended tables are inherited tables. I'm sure you understand inheritance. So sometimes what happens is when you create a table, you want to put all those columns that you have into your table that you are creating, but you also want that table columns from other tables should be inherited into this table, right? So if that is the case, then you will have extended tables where you have that concept of inheritance coming in. One parent table, you are taking out fields from that parent table into your child table that you are creating. So that is extended tables.
So you mean foreign key relationship? Yeah.
Not foreign key relationship, you will have a direct relationship with that table. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that
Okay.
later. Just wanted to tell you that this is a type of relationship.
Mhm.
When you create a table, you can extend a table. All columns from that table will appear into your table. Right?
Okay.
We'll talk about it. Now, use this tool, Schema Map, to see different types of relationships. You can hit on this plus button to see the different columns available into that table and more information related to it. All right. Oh, all right. That table has very few number of columns. It expanded and now you can expand on these columns. It will give you the name of columns and application file, give you all details that you need, and then you can try to analyze the relationship between these. Okay?
Yeah.
You'll find it useful.
Yeah. I have seen, to check the incident table relationship.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at it. Yeah. Because I guess if you understand the schema of the whole
Right.
table, then it's very easy to understand this tool.
Right. Right. And see, this service now uses single service architecture, single system architecture for all of the applications. So these are the boxed applications, the default applications that you get. We are looking into the applications that we are looking into are the default applications, the template applications, I would say. Even if you have to create a new custom application that will go into the same architecture that you have built, that you have, from ServiceNow. So ServiceNow built a single system architecture, and you will use that architecture. Make sense?
Yeah.
Now we will be also talking about system properties, as you discussed yesterday, um, because that is important too, to understand the system properties. So to set system properties, there are two things. There are basic out-of-the-box properties available by default that you can utilize, and there are advanced system properties that you can use, set, or create by going into the system properties table, right? Just remember these two lines: basic system properties and advanced custom properties or system properties available that you have to go and edit, alter, activate, or deactivate from the system properties table. Okay. Now to set properties, what you have to do is you have to go into system properties here. So this is an application. So this information of setting the property values into the ServiceNow instance has been stored into the system properties, where the properties are grouped into different modules, which makes more sense, meaningful sense to have those properties clubbed together, right? For example, the basic configuration will have the basic look and feel configuration set up into this basic configuration module. My company will contain the information about the company that you are dealing with. UI properties will have properties related to UI. You can have system properties, the basic system properties information, email properties, import, export properties, approval engines properties. All these kind of properties are available. So these properties that I'm talking about here are the default properties that are set, that you can use, enable, disable, activate, deactivate using these modules that you have here, right? Let's look a few of them. Look into a few of them. For example, this basic configuration. When we go into this basic configuration, you can see the basic look and feel related configurations available here. It says tailor the look of the page top banner, which is this one. We were talking about changing the top banner for the company, right? So this property, this system configuration will be utilized to tailor the look and feel of the top banner that you have here. Tailor the look of the page top banner, text, logo, color, set the time zone, date and time formats, right? For example, this text that you see, training instance 2 Helsinki version, this comes from here, page header caption, right?
Hmm.
If you want to put this logo, the company logo, I did it using this banner image. You see that?
Hmm.
Click on it, you upload the logo that you want to show there, and you have that logo uploaded here. That will be displayed there, right? You can put some browser page title, tab title, and it should appear on here probably. If I update it, yeah, it comes here as a browser tab title. See here,
Right. Right.
right? For example, if I save this, it becomes, Rahul Service now. Now, so this is basic look and feel related, the company logo related, the tagline related. You can put your taglines as well here. Then you can put the, system time zone for this instance. You can choose what time zone you want to put here, and the date format as well, right? So date format here is YYYY MMDD, right? And then the time format is also associated, and the banner text color I have chosen here is red, having the hash code hash D91616, so you can associate that banner color from here as well. If I want to change it to this, I can change and save it, and the color will change from red to something else, right? So this goes into the basic system properties, basic configuration. Now, we talked about UI 16, UI 14, UI 15. These are kind of UI terminologies that we have seen either on Wiki or on other
Hmm.
areas, or
Hmm.
sometimes when I impersonate to other user, I see a different UI than this. For example, if I go to
Hmm.
Buragari account, see the UI changes to something else, right? This one. So this is a different UI that changes to it, right? The top panel looks different. The impersonation button that used to be here came here, right? So the different places it has changed. So this UI that we are seeing right now is what they call as UI 16, the latest version of the UI, and they have done more usability improvement. They say that this is more. They have done usability improvement and ease of access into this by putting this UI 16, right? So different look and feel related stuff is related to the UI 16. If you want to do some configuration related to the UI 16, you can use this basic configuration UI 16, and that will allow you to do the changes. For example, let's go into this basic configuration UI 16 and see what it has. I go here, right? So it's a tailor the look of the page, top banner, text, logo, color, tests, set the time zones, date, time format. So similar stuff, but that is related to UI 16. And see, you have different color options, meaning you can change the color of individual areas of the application. Let's see, header background color. So if you want to change the header background color, you can change that. In UI 15, the basic configuration, we didn't have that specific item available, right? If you want to change the banner text color, you can use that. This is applicable to UI 16. Header divider, strip color, navigation background color. So this background color, which is the dark
Okay.
one, you can change it to something else as well. So this is mainly related to the color, etc. So UI 16, if you want to change the properties, mostly this gives you the title bar, the browser tab title, the timings, and the color associated to that. So UI 16. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you have to set properties related to your company, so right now the system administrator account that I have is associated to the sample company, which is located in Telangana, and the city name is Hyderabad, right? So if you have to change the properties to it, you can change it by changing the values into the my company list here, right? Now, my company could also have the product models to offer and different vendor catalog items associated to it, right? So this product models, you see the related list here, but the values are not associated here. So there is a different application of product and models where you can go ahead and identify what product and models you are supporting for your company. This product model application I'm talking about. So to bring the data into this product model related link, you will have to go into the product catalog application and product model module, and then go and create the data for your company, and then it will then it will bring out all the products that you have to offer to your customers here, right? Now this
Okay.
my company property window, you have different options available, like get a stock quote. So this will probably bring out the stock price value that you have, like $45 for your company stock price, stuffs like that, right? Um, to know in detail what these buttons are doing, we can look into and we can find out what are the actions that these buttons are performing, right? When we do scripting, when we do look into different scripting related components, we will like to find out what these, where the code for this get a stock quote button is written, right? If we know that, we understand how the transactions are getting processed when you hit the get a stock quote button. Make sense? So this will come when we start discussing scripting and different areas of the scripting and different components related to scripting. Okay, you can also look into all of the functions related to the update, insert and stay, save and delete. So whatever operation is being done, you can actually go ahead and see which table it is referencing to, whether it is updating data or inserting data into the tables and stuff like that, right? Is it making sense, Anand?
Yeah, yeah, yes. These product models, it is showing somewhere when you see the company. I mean, basically when you log in as that company user, it shows on the uh, on the right panel of the when you log in as a user,
See,
where we
there will be certain configuration required to do that if you want to
Mhm.
offer that product model to your customers. And that goes as part of the scope of the product model application, right? We can try to
Okay,
explore that, although we have not kept that as part of this curriculum, but we can try to explore that as well, product models, and see how the
okay.
relationship between products and models are, and how you can bring that onto some dashboard to show what products you are going to offer to your customers,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So, Rahul, mainly when we work in the companies with this particular product, the people are more interested in the scripting, I believe, right? I
As
mean,
a
we have
developer,
to
yes.
customize that.
As
Yeah.
a developer, yes, you will
As
be more interested into doing scripting, doing integration. As an administrator, you will be doing different administration activities. Um, you might be also written into creating and deploying. As an administrator, you will be responsible for, creating applications, deploying your application, moving code from one application to another application. Developer can be integration specialist, or developer can be user interface specialist. So these kind of roles. So majorly the kind of role that we have, you and me, will be more interested into doing scripting stuff, right?
correct, yes.
Scripting and integration stuff.
Right, scripting and integration, because people also ask for administrator. So I believe like they want administrator as well as developer also.
Yeah. So obviously customers will like to have hybrid roles in place instead of having individual roles for administrators, developer, integrators, analysts, project managers, etc. So it's better that you get hands-on on all of these stuff. Moving on, let's move to the UI properties. And then here you can see stuffs like, the basic stuffs like assign to. So if you want to show an icon to the assign to control or field, this is the icon that you are showing on the assign to. If I go on to a duplicate form and go to change, let me see if this one has it. No, this one doesn't have it. Assign to image used in activity formatter. Oh, this goes into activity formatter. So somewhere on different forms, if we are using the assign to activity formatter, the logo attached to it will be this user.gifx, right? The image attached to it.
It will be in the I guess incident table when we create incident. When we
I don't think so.
update a incident record, then
Mhm.
we can add the assign to field there.
But the image is not here. I think that goes with activity formatter. Let's see if we have. No, we do not have that image.
Uh, no, if you go to customize that list,
Customize what? List.
yeah, customize list means what I'm saying is if you wanted to add a column, how you are going to add a column here, one more column,
I can go and do by
form
form
design.
design.
Yeah, form design, correct.
You know what? No, this
And
image is,
assign to,
yeah.
yeah,
Huh. Yeah, now
so
assigned to.
that image.
What image you are talking about? This one?
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, that is the one, that is the image, right?
No, no, no.
That's
This
the
is
image
this.
on your web.
No, no, not this one. It's a different image. This is the
Okay,
gear button. It is available on all of these fields. You can see.
okay.
And
I
then
thought that is the image we are talking about in UI
no,
properties.
this is related to logo to assign to activity formatter. I'll try to find out where it is. Anyways, so if you are to attach those images, so this UI properties window you have here will give you certain properties to associate those images here. Right? I'll not like to devote much time onto these images. I'll rather go to different
Mm,
other properties. See, this one reads Rules that can view email in the activity formatter when including send received emails. So this is the role which is allowed to read that email, which is ITIL. So you can put this property. If you want to associate more roles, you can go and put these roles as as you want to put here, right? So comma separated values of rule that you are allowing to read emails in the activity formatter. So that's where you can set that value. Show names instead of email address in the activity header of email. So if you see emails that we get from
Sorry, I don't understand that what you said in that role.
which role?
Role that can view, yeah, no, that property role that can view email in the activity formatter. So
Uh,
email in activity format, what does that mean?
Wait.
And including send, receive, and email. Role that we can view in activity formatter.
This is probably talking about this one. The person who can read this email into this activity formatter. So you see this activity? So the moment you update your incidents, it contains the logs contained here. So this is probably talking about this activity formatter where you can read about all those emails coming in into this area. Let me get a proper clarity on this. So I'm going to copy this and quickly search on wiki if I'm right or not on this one. Or do we have a, yeah, this is the same thing. In the activity formatter area, be it the incident form or the change form, so this area you see, so if you do not have the ITIL role, you will not be able to see what emails were sent out to different users. So you will not be able to read that email. For example, the other incident that we chose, let's pick this one. So this email that you see here, if you do not have ITIL role, you will not be able to expand this and see that email here in the activity formatter. Make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah. Roles that can view email in the activity formatter when including send received emails. Right? So within this activity formatter, this is activity formatter. Basically, it contains all the activities any actor would do on this form, this incident number. Those activities will be recorded here, right? But the email will only be visible to you if you have the roles associated here into this property, right? So if you do not have ITIL role, you will not be able to see that email. That is what it is, telling you by using this property. Clear?
yeah.
Now show names instead of email addresses in the activity headers of the email. So here you are showing email. So if you want to change this and show just the names, you have to tick this property here, right? So these kind of basic configurations, the small configurations are available. For example, see this one. Show save, insert and stay buttons on form. You see that button here? Save, insert and stay and insert. Right? So insert is the button. When you hit insert, it will actually insert the record into the table and go back to the list of record. Not here. Go back to the list of record here. If you do insert, it will insert the record into the table and go back to the list of record here. If you do insert and stay, it will insert the record into the into the table, but will remain on this form. It will not go back to the list of records, right? And saving is
Okay.
save the record and remain here, right? Now you can enable or disable these buttons. If I disable these buttons from here and I save it, let it save and I reload it, the buttons are gone. See that? Those buttons are gone. So that's why you have those buttons. Now the next one is enable the right click to, yeah,
So this is all under UI properties we are looking at. Okay.
right. This is UI property.
Forget what.
Right. Now the next one is enable the right click to edit context menu on application in the navigator. See in the application, if you are right clicking, this one, enable the right click to edit context menu. So this, if you want to disable it, let's try to see if we can disable this. No, this is probably talking about something else. Let me read it one more time. Enable the right click to edit context menu on the applications in the navigator. Let me refresh it to make sure I'm doing it right. Yes. So this edit module is not opening up now, right? So the same the property. So I cannot, if I right click here, I cannot open the edit module property context menu now, right? And that is controlled by this property. I want to have this, so I'm going to revert it to yes and then save it. Now allow attachment drag and drop in supported HTML5 browsers. This is pretty clear. If you want to allow attachment as drag and drop item, you can use this one. Now list of system tables beginning with sys underscore and comma separated that will have the delete audited. See, you can, so these are the system tables. If somebody deletes the record by default, somebody deletes the record from these tables, how do you know, how do you keep track of, the people who delete record from this table? So if you want to audit these tables, you have to enable auditing by putting the name of the tables that has to be included into the audited list here, right? So whatever tables, the system tables that you want to be audited, you have to put it here.
So what does mean by audited? It just tell you that the record has been deleted
Right.
and what is the recovery
Right. It will contain certain information. It will let you know the information about who. So to recovery, you have a different module available, which is deleted records. You're talking about recovery, so I'm talking about recovery. So you have deleted records in system definition. So this is for recovery, right? So things that you delete goes into this deleted record table. Now you can choose this item, open up, and then you can do undelete record, right? So when you do undelete record, it will go back into the table and get saved, right? So the tables where you want to enable these audit done, right? So you can put those names of the tables here in the list and get that done. Okay. Now number of days after which resolved incidents are automatically closed, 0 disables this feature. So This is related to the incident application. If you resolve an incident, so typically within organizations, what happens is you could either wait for customers to confirm that the resolution was perfect, or you can put your default process of closing the incident even if the user has not confirmed that the incident was resolved, and there is a timeline attached to it. So this property is talking about the timeline. So if you set 1, it will wait for 1 day to get a confirmation from the user if it is resolved or not. If the user does not respond, it will assume that the incident was resolved properly, and it will close the incident, right? So this is the property that you have here. Okay. Now this one talks
Yeah.
about show buttons at the end of the form. Yes. So if I go here, open this incident. So we have buttons on the top of the form here, and we have buttons here as well. That's because you have show buttons at the end of the form. If I untick this and save it, those buttons will not be appearing here. It will disappear from here. The other one is show buttons in the form header. This one. If you untick it, that will disappear from there. I want to keep the buttons in the header, so I'm going to save it by removing the bottom buttons. I reload it. So I have the header buttons here. Oh, hit save. Submit, update, etc. This is gone. I hope it is saved. There are various properties available that we have to. So this is probably talking about some other button because it is not getting reflected. Or let me refresh this form first. Maybe the whole page needs refresh. I'm refreshing it now. No, this is probably talking about some different button. Alright, we can keep exploring it. There are different other properties that we need to look into. We need to talk about the email property, the system properties. CSS maybe we can escape. Mobile and tablet you can look into by yourself. Import export will probably look into and see, and this will come into the import sets. When we go to import sets, then we can see that import export properties. LDAP property, if we are able to get an LDAP environment, then probably we'll integrate LDAP as well. Do you know how to install
Uh,
LDAP somewhere on any server?
yeah, I know. See, actually, you don't. There is a desktop application. It comes up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll get the information tomorrow. I have some network engineer people,
All
so
right. So
I
so
will ask
try
them.
doing this. If you can really do anything for me, so get information to install that on Unix server, because I have a server available in AWS. So if we are able to set up LDAP in the Unix server, I think that will be a good exercise for us to have as part of this.
Okay.
Right.
All
Although you
right.
can also get the Windows Server installation, get the information for Windows Server information, but if you can get the Unix one, that will be really very
Hmm.
beneficial for us.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And Rahul, will keep this class, for 1 hour. I think that is more productive, I'm saying. 11 o'clock also for me.
Uh, yeah.
11 o'clock for me is